this point in the campaign, could a win come down to one thing, cold hard cash? And what does Donald Trump need to do to rake it in? Because he's behind right now. I'm joined by the man responsible for this, Stephen Mnuchin, Trump National Finance Chairman in a Fox Business exclusive. He is behind. You know, the numbers yesterday came out from the campaign organization that reports these things. 1.2 or 3 million for Donald Trump, 41 million, 42.5 million for Hillary Clinton. How's he going to catch up?
Let me first say thank you for having me on today. I mean, we couldn't be at all concerned about this, and I think the press really has it wrong. So let's start with the RNC has raised over $150 million in the last 18 months. They have 750 people in staff, 5,000 people that are being trained in a 6-week training program. We in the party have the necessary resources. The filing that came out was for May. We didn't start fundraising until the end of May. So prior to that, Donald had been financing the whole campaign himself and putting money into the campaign when it was needed.
Well, let's get to that, because one of the main tenets of his whole fundraising effort was that he wasn't on the take from special interests. But now he's got to go out and raise that cash. How do people square with the earlier statement of, I don't need the money, I'm a billionaire, and now, you know, this email that came out that we showed on the air yesterday, we have an emergency ask of $100,000, please send in money.
Yeah, let me say that email was a mistake, okay? That was not in line with our marketing.
Really?
And it was not an emergency for him to have the $100,000. So, you know, let me give you some of the facts. We just started our online campaign, okay? Online mailing yesterday did over $3 million. Donald, in an unprecedented move, agreed to match the first $2 million personally that came in. So we did over $5 million online yesterday, and we're just starting that effort.
How much have you made this month, in the month of June right now? Can you give us a tally?
I'm not going to comment on where we are for the month, but I will tell you we just did 2 events in New York. Last night we had a very successful dinner at Le Cirque. This morning we had a breakfast at Cipriani 42nd Street for a couple hundred people. We had done a very small lunch in the office for people who couldn't make those events. And we've done over $10 million on New York fundraising alone.
Listen, the smart thing to do is go to the people with money. But the people with money tend to be Wall Street, Stephen. And you know that because obviously you have, I mean, we had Wilbur Ross, the billionaire, sitting right here saying he's going to head it up and help Carl Icahn. John Paulson was at the Le Cirque dinner. He gave a lot of money. So now the very group that he criticized, that Donald Trump criticized Hillary Clinton for, is that Wall Street, you know, even sort of the Halo Wall Street team that you're asking money for.
Let me be clear. The Clintons took in over $150 million in fees in various different capacities and special interests. Donald Trump is seeking out business leaders who are committing that they want no special favors to this effort. They're offering advice on jobs and the economy. This election is going to be about putting people back to work and helping the economy.
Just minutes ago, Hillary Clinton bashed Wall Street. Will she get the money from them?
Well, you know, that's for Hillary to figure out. You know, I think that, first of all, she's going to need to raise an awful lot more money than Donald Trump needs to raise. I think, as we saw in the primary, he had competitors that outspent him. He's very efficient in his operation, and I think we're convinced we're going to have plenty of money to beat her, and we have plenty of people who are willing to help. But as I said, this is going to be a race that's about the economy and national security, and I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of comfort in his plan in putting people back to work, and we heard that this morning.
I have to say, you know, people saw all of the news about that number, and you say that it's yesterday's number and it's not appropriate and it's not fair because he is raising money hand over fist. But does he have liquidity issues? Charlie Gasparino, who's one of our top reporters, is constantly looking. They say he's worth $10 billion. But the liquid cash, and I talk to a lot of smart, wealthy guys, both in Florida and in New York, who say, makes us wonder, why couldn't he just write a $50 million check?
Well, let me first say, Donald Trump has plenty of liquidity. And, you know, there's nothing to worry about. He has made a very significant contribution to his campaign. $50 million loan is being forgiven as a contribution to the campaign, and he has said he will continue to make a significant contribution to the campaign. As I mentioned, yesterday alone, he matched $2 million online, which is unprecedented.
Is there any special interest group, because you're in charge of the finances here, that Donald Trump has said, we won't touch their money, we won't take from that special interest group?
Again, I'd be very clear in we have told people when they're giving, we want their advice, okay? There are no special interest groups that we're going after for favors or anything else. This is about people who have advice on the economy and who want to help the campaign.
And finally, and they're going to kill me because we're way over on this, but where will you spend the money? Will it be in media on the targeted important states like Ohio, Florida, Pennsylvania, Virginia?
Well, I think the primary money is going to be spent on the ground campaign, getting people out to work in the ground campaign. And there'll be some media. Yeah, hiring. But, I would say with over 20 million people online, Donald Trump has lots of followers. So this is not just about online media buys. This is going to be a campaign that's driven by social media and driven by free TV.
If it comes down to it, will he lend his campaign money?
If it comes down to it, he will contribute more money to his campaign. He is committed to winning, and he will do what it takes.
Steve Mnuchin, thank you so much for being here in a Fox Business exclusive. He's Trump campaign's national finance chairman. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
Great to have you on a very important day because